Greetings, Earthlings.
Hello, beautiful people.
Welcome, everybody, to Boogeyman Radio. I'm your host, David. And with me,
Charlie.
just Charlie.
Just Charlie. Nothing wrong with that, right?
No, not at all.
Anyways,
we've got a dope-ass show for you.
it's going to be a great show. This is a fun one. This topic I actually haven't really, I didn't really know much about. I haven't even seen the movie.
Which is crazy to me because I know you watch a lot of movies and
yeah.
I figure, An American Haunting you've probably seen.
Oh, yeah.
Howdy, Lori. Hello, Josh.
Lori, Josh, hi.
Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about the Bell Witch, the Curse of the Bell Witch, which is a fascinating story. And we've got something special planned for you guys on the next show that ties into this show. So stay tuned. We will tell you what that's all about. But first, Charles, how are we doing?
I'm doing great, man. My week was exhilaratingly fun. Not really. It was a nice, fun week.
It was exhilaratingly fun.
It was exhilaratingly fun. No, it wasn't. I was a little depressed on Sunday. Sunday was looking hopeful for my Chiefs, but
yeah.
Man, they just certainly couldn't do it. Well,
Joey Burrow.
To be fair, him and one other player on their team destroyed our defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chase,
a rookie.
Man, they could not. Well, how about this? 3rd and 27. What are you gonna do? Double up the guy that's been kicking our butt all day? Nah, let's send rushers, right? Let's send people after the quarterback. That's a horrible play call.
Yeah,
horrible. But honestly, I had to give credit to the Bengals team. Not only did they did out coach us in the second half, 100%. Second half was way better. We only scored, I think, 3 points in the second half.
I'll admit they got lucky at that final drive. Their line.
We stopped them, 2-3 times?
Yeah,
flag after flag after flag after flag. Jeez, man. I just, some people want to blame the refs, but I do have to. I do blame the refs too. But I do have to give credit to the Bengals team. They did show up to play. So
they sure did.
Yeah, I can't be up too upset. But I mean, other than that, it's been a good week.
Good.
Starting off 2022 right. No chaos. No horribleness. Hello everybody. We're on the other side of the new year now.
I actually feel like this year is going to be flipping amazing.
Dude, I've been saying that too. I've been saying it for ever since January 1st. I've had this feeling like something big and awesome is going to happen. Not necessarily one big event, but just I feel like this year is going to be great.
I do
After
too.
The last 2 years that have just been
And I don't know about you, but I've actually talked to other people that they feel it too.
The same way too. Yes, absolutely.
It's a feeling, and I can tell you, right now, I'm so hyped for this new year just because I've got so much going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've told me your plans and what you've got in store for this year. I'm pumped for you, dude. Oh, it's gonna be a big year for you.
But the biggest thing that I've got going on here is the Haunting History Paracon on October 7th and 8th in Joplin, Missouri. We've already started announcing speakers. We're getting hit up by a lot of people for being a vendor, nice. And I'm trying not to double up a bunch of the same stuff. But it's going to be a massive event. I think
I do. I have that feeling as well, man. I think it's going to be a great event for you.
Yeah,
not just for you, but for a bunch of people as well.
Joplin, Missouri is a really good town or good area for the paranormal stuff.
It's a great medium. It is a great, man.
The people there, they turn out. They really do.
Yeah.
When I shot Into the Light and we did our first premiere there, we did 2 nights, And both nights at the theater we showed at, like, we damn near sold out the theater on both nights, which is insane to me. Just being a first time film, and there it is, and boom.
Surrounding areas. I mean, what you got to think? You got Oklahoma right there. You've got Kansas. You've got Arkansas, obviously in Missouri. Like, that's a good central location for
Kansas City, Fayetteville, Arkansas,
exactly.
Springfield, Missouri. I mean, centralized. But like, it turns out I've reached out to some really cool vendors that I'm hoping to hear back from soon. One of them being Riggs's Monster Tattoos.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know if you know who Riggs is, but Riggs was the guitarist for Rob Zombie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to get him and his shop out to be a vendor and maybe do some tattoo work out at the Paracon, which would be awesome. And he also has the Dragula car.
Nice. Would he let people take pictures with it? That's the question.
I think so, yeah. He's had it parked. Every now and then he parks it in front of the tattoo shop, and he puts like a velvet rope around it and stuff. Man.
That's a winner in my book.
Hell yeah. And I've reached out to a few more places that I'm, fingers crossed, let's get them in there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's looking really good right now. And I'm at, honestly, I'm pretty proud of where it's at this point, because at this point, last time I tried this, I didn't have shit.
Hey, it's a work in progress, man.
Yeah, that's why I got that feeling this year is going to be amazing. Just how easy everything's working out, and
absolutely,
and all that.
Well, you got to. So when was the last time you tried to do one?
I was supposed to have one going last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
What was it around the same time that like COVID was spiking and all this crazy? So
we had to cancel it and all that. But like, it took me forever to get some sponsors, or not sponsors, but vendors and stuff. And this year,
you've also built up. I feel like with going to some cons since then, you've also built up a nice, not friendships, but like
connections.
Yeah, you built up some really good connections over the past year too. So that really helps.
It does. But I've also had some of these connections for years too.
True.
It was just the vendorship. Yeah, the vendors and all the timing and everything just coming through. But
I hope it works out for you, obviously, and I hope it works out for the people, because I know people got screwed over in Vegas over last month or whatever, whenever it was. Yeah, so horrible mess out there. But anyways.
Yeah.
Good times.
So real quick, one more time, I'll put this up real quick. If you guys want to check out more about the event, go to facebook.com/haunting history. Through the timeline, you can see some of the speakers that we've announced, like Justin Spurrier, Jessica Potter, who was the psychic that we had on the show and did a reading for Charles and I.
Yeah.
She'll be on there. We just announced Rick Park, a good friend of ours up in Kansas City. I've got another announcement I'll probably put out here in a couple days, depending on how soon they get their bio to me. And then another guy that I'm waiting for him to confirm that he's going to speak, and all that good jazz. A lot of after events. Like there's going to be a gallery reading on Friday after the actual event by Jessica. She's going to do a big gallery reading. We are putting together.
Can we reach out to Angel too?
Yeah, Angel's. I don't know if she'll be able to make it. She might. We do have another psychic or a couple more psychics that are going to be there as well. I'll go ahead and tell. They're not speaking, but Denise and Ron Pridemore will be there. Dr. Rebecca Foster will be there as well. They're not going to be speaking, but they'll have a booth. Rebecca will. Denise and Ron, they just like to walk around anyway. So
yeah.
So they're going to be there.
Sorry. Here in a minute, I want to tell you about something kind of funny that a spiritual friend of mine told me that kind of lines up with something Angel told me. So we'll talk about that in a second.
We're also on Saturday, or also on Friday, we have a film contest going. So if any of you know somebody that's likes to do some filming, just send them my way. I'll answer any questions they have. But if you go on the Haunting History Facebook page, you can get this information and a bunch more. Saturday, we're going to have a concert. There's going to be ghost hunts, and yeah, the bar's going to be open on Saturday too, like for the concert. So it's going to be cool. Going to be great time. Cool. Yeah, a lot going on.
You got this, man.
I got it.
You got this.
Then I have to find volunteers to help out when the event gets closer.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. What's the date again?
The date is October 7th and 8th.
Boom.
Joplin, Missouri.
Guess I'm gonna have to save up some vacation time so I can go down there.
Absolutely.
I get 3 weeks paid vacation, so.
Oh, nice. Shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Get paid to go to Paracons. Yeah. And other things. Like when we went to Eureka Springs, I got paid that week.
Can't beat that.
For that week. No, it was great. Getting paid to go vlog and stay at the Crescent Hotel. Man.
No, Boogeyman Radios, they were hard to book.
Yeah, they were too full, and the one guy, like, weirdo with glasses and long hair, he's too complicated.
A little cocky too, like he's a little bit very arrogant.
Man, he doesn't work well with others. Clearly.
Yeah, he needs better management though.
Gotta fire Bruce. Get over here. They're saying you're a horrible manager. Jeez, man, what are you doing? You answered any calls? You just laying back doing nothing. That's what I thought. Anyways. I don't know. They may make an appearance. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll figure that out.
We'll pull some strings.
Yeah. All right, guys. So enough about us.
Yes.
Let's jump into this topic, right?
Absolutely.
So show of hands. How many of you in chat have heard of the Bell Witch? Is that a baby hand?
I know I'm not in chat, but it'll work. I should get some baby hands, shouldn't I? Like, you
should just like kind of raise them up and be
like, that'd be perfect. That's the money you invest in. All right, cool. Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard about it. I mean, I've heard about it, but I've never really dove into the subject. So
it's technically known. Technically, it's known as like the first actual documented case of the paranormal in America. But if you think about it, I don't know if that's really true because the disappearance of the Roanoke people.
Yeah,
that's I would consider
weird.
That.
It's pretty weird. Plus, I'm sure Native Americans probably have a lot of spiritual stories and stuff too.
And they try to document it on the walls of caves and rock.
There you go.
So
teachings and stuff. Or what if them talking about their spirits and their legends and history? That's technically paranormal, right?
Technically. Let me get into my work here.
Your work?
My work. All right. So the story of the Bell Witch, it centralizes around the Bell family. The witch isn't named Bell. A lot of people get that confused too. Like, was it the town Bell? No. The town
I thought it was a witch that haunted a bell. That's what I thought it was.
Right. Every time it rings.
Yeah. Every time it rings, something happens. You never know. Yeah.
This, Mommy. Every time the bell rings, a witch disappears.
I was gonna say instead of the bell ringing, getting its wings for an angel, a daemon appears or something.
Yeah.
Zach Bagans' heaven over here. Anyways, he'd be ringing that thing all day. Anyways.
Come on here, David.
Oh, he'd totally take that thing and put it in his museum too.
Yeah. It'd be like ringing
Don't
it like
ring it.
A lunch bell.
Exactly. Don't ring it. Only I can ring it because I can ward off the demon.
I'm sure Spurrier's like, ha ha ha.
Anyways, Adams, yes, in Adams, Tennessee.
Adams, Tennessee. So yeah, this centralizes around the Bell family. John Bell, and this is the legend, okay? So at this point, not everything is known as factual. Okay, so what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to dive a little bit deep into this whole legend and different angles of this thing. We're going to kind of dissect it. So the legend has it that John Bell, who was a farmer from North Carolina, along with his wife and children, settled in the northern Robertson County, Tennessee, in 1804. Their farm consisted of 320 acres of rich farmland and laid along the Red River, which, if you follow like paranormal theory and stuff, running water supposedly fuels paranormal activity. So that there's one strike against them right there, right? They lived a quiet and peaceful life here for the first 13 years. They were members of the Red River Baptist Church, where John became a deacon. The family grew and became somewhat prosperous. So deep!
Anyways.
In the late summer of 1817, something would happen that would change their lives forever. Forever. I'm gonna have to get that now to play.
That's a soundbite we need right there.
Yes.
The kid from what is this?
Sandlot.
Squints from Sandlot.
Yeah.
Forever.
So some members of the family began seeing this strange-looking animals around their property. Then late at night, they started hearing knocking sounds on the doors and the outer walls of the house. Later, sounds were being heard in the house. Sounds of a rat gnawing on the bedpost, chains being dragged through the house, stones being dropped on the wooden floors, then gulping and choking sounds, which we're not going to go there. We'll save that for the After Dark. Right? The family was terrified.
I'll leave that one alone. I just won't touch that one.
It was a gawking sound.
Was that a thing back in the 1800s? Because I didn't think it was.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay. For a long, nice bath. Anyways.
Trying so hard right here.
I bet it was. Anyways.
But the family was terrified.
Dive in the Red River, just don't drink it. I heard it gives you wings too. Anyways, let's just keep it rolling.
We're on the After Dark already, right?
It feels like it. It's great.
So the family was terrified, but kept the problem to themselves for over a year.
Man.
When things became intolerable, John confided in a neighbor, James Johnson. He invited Mr. and Mrs. Johnson to spend the night. And after several nights of witnessing the strange events, Mr. Johnson, again with the names, suggested that more people should be told. And a committee was formed and an investigation started. Good God.
Thanks, Cassie. Good to see you.
Can we take a pause for the cause? Is that what we should do?
That's what we should. Okay, let's discuss where we're at right now. So,
okay.
Hold on. So, obviously, random noises were happening. And he decided to confide in his neighbor. Well, why do you think he went to his neighbor in the first place back in that time?
Well, he couldn't go to the church.
As I say, you couldn't go to the church because back in that time, they'd hang you or burn you at the stake for anything
it was a
weird
Baptist
and paranormal.
Church.
Oh, yeah, Baptist church, so even more strict.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But, so, correct me if I'm wrong, multiple times that I've heard the whole animal that John Bell saw was like a body of a dog with the head of a rabbit.
Yeah, something like that.
That's most of the time that, out of probably a handful of people that I looked up and listened to / read, that's what they would quote, is that's what it was from, or that's what it would look like.
Which is a weird combination.
Yeah,
I mean,
very.
What would you confuse that with, really? I mean,
no, there's nothing. I don't know of anything that I've heard of cryptid-wise that has a body of a dog but head of a rabbit.
You think maybe at times it was just misidentified as maybe it was a dog with like a wolf or something? Well, I guess it didn't ears up there.
With long flappy ears. That'd be like a weird like what are those, not coon hounds, what are those, basset hounds? Where it's like the droopy face and the freaking long ears.
Yep.
So maybe he just saw one of those dogs, because I don't know what type of dog would have been bred around that time.
Or how big this creature was.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, it spooked him, clearly.
Yeah.
But I also find it interesting that this is the story that technically kicks off the whole events. Is he saw this weird thing, and then boom, things started happening around the house.
Yeah, and as we go further, I mean, the things that get revealed is like, how did that really tie into that?
Yeah.
And, you know,
I mean, could it be a Native American thing? Because I've never heard of anything Native American wise that has the body of a dog and the flappy ears like a rabbit.
A Wendigo?
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean,
They have horns though,
shapeshifters
don't they?
too. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't
I,
know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'd have to look at what the Wendigo looks like again. I can't remember.
Right.
But uh, I know. I mean, the only thing I can really think of is maybe a shapeshifter, but a shapeshifter could be anything.
Yeah.
You know, like now. Yeah, we'll get into some of the quotes of what the spirit said, but yeah, I find it interesting that that's what kicked off things, and it was John Bell specifically, and that's the one who was like
The flag.
Kotobuki, a Japanese chimera with the head of a rat, ears of a rabbit, horns of an ox, comb of a rooster. Only partial message showed up. I'm gonna see the whole thing.
There's the rest of it.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. Kotobuki, I think that's how you say it. Very weird. But very interesting. So, do you think the chimera would be here?
I doubt it. I would seriously doubt it. I mean, honestly, what it describes is basically a chupacabra. Some descriptions of chupacabras.
True. That's a crazy combo. True. Yeah, that really is. All right.
Like, yeah. It describes like some descriptions from like South America's, some cultural descriptions of the chupacabra, and
Yeah.
but like, I
Now,
think more so here in America, it's more like a dog anyway.
yeah. Oh, that's makes sense. I mean, could he have misclassified a bear?
That'd be hard to do. They don't have big ears.
What if this was a mutant bear?
With big ears? That's.
You never know.
I mean, you never know.
What if it was a moose with no horns and long ears?
A moose in Tennessee.
I don't know.
All right, let's continue here.
Just throwing out. Yeah. Anyways.
So after he had his neighbors in to see everything, and his neighbors suggested that they tell more people. It wasn't long before people were coming in from miles around to hear and witness this unseen force that was terrorizing the Bell home. Before long, this unseen force had gained enough strength that it now had a voice. Before we go into the rest of this, didn't you say you had something on one of the people that came out there to see it?
Yes, and I also do want to add, by this time, too, the church did kind of get involved. He did go to the church, and he basically told the church and the townsfolk, hey, this is all happening in my house. This is just, that's...
What are we going to do?
Yeah, like, I don't know what to do about it, but my house is being terrorized by a spirit. So, fun times. But, thankfully, and the town was progressive enough to where they weren't going to burn him and his family at the stake. But, they weren't trying to kill him at all, so that was good. But
I think part of that was because he was rich. He had a lot of land. He was a deacon of the church.
True.
So he had a lot of influence.
That's true. He wasn't like a not so well-known person. That makes sense. But at the same time, though, it just got to be careful with things, especially with how big his family was.
Yeah.
And who knows? Like, I know we'll get in. Like, so one of the stories go that a certain general had heard wind of what was happening at the mansion or at the location.
At the house.
And and wanted to get involved. So he brought some friends along, and it was Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson apparently had heard the stories of the Bell Witch and wanted to get involved. So I'm going to read a little bit on Jackson and his time there. Now, this is before he was president. This was just while he was a general in the military. Which, fun fact, some of John Bell's sons actually served served Jackson.
Oh, cool.
Whatever. So some think this is true, some don't think this is true, but just for story's sake, we're going to read it anyways. So widely spread was the news about the Bell Witch that people came from hundreds of miles around hoping to hear the spirit's shrill voice or witness a manifestation of the vile temper. When word of the haunting reached Nashville, one of the most famous citizens, General Andrew Jackson, decided to gather a party of friends and journey to Adams to investigate. The general, who had earned his tough reputation in many conflicts with Native Americans, was determined to confront the phenomenon and either expose it as a hoax or send the spirit away. A chapter in M.V. Ingram's 1894 book, An Authentic History of the Famous Bell Witch, considered by many to be the best account of the story, is devoted to Jackson's visit. General Jackson's party came from Nashville with a wagon loaded with a tent, provisions, etc., bent on a good time and much fun investigating the witch. The men were riding on horseback and were following along in the rear of the wagon as they approached the place, discussing the matter and planning how they were going to do up with the witch. Or do up the witch, whatever. Just then, traveling over a smooth, level piece of road, the wagon halted and stuck fast. The driver popped his whip, whooped and shouted at the team, and the horses pulled with all of their might, but could not move the wagon an inch. It was dead stuck as if welded to the ground. General Jackson commanded all of his men to dismount and put their shoulders to the wheel and give the wagon a push, but all in vain. It was no go. The wheels were then taken off and one at a time and examined, found to be all right, revolving easily on the axles. General Jackson, after a few moments' thought, realizing that they were in a fix, threw up his hands, exclaiming, by the eternal, boys, it is the witch. Then came the sound of a sharp metallic voice from the bushes. I don't know how sharp metallic voice. Okay.
It's like one of those saws when you.
Yeah, I guess, but with a voice though.
I guess.
All right, General, let the wagon move, and I will see you again tonight. Some think that was the witch. The men, in bewildered astonishment, looked in every direction to see if they could discover from whence came the strange voice, but could find no explanation to the mystery. The horses then unexpectedly of their own accord, and the wagon rolled along as light and smoothly as ever. Now, this next account talks about while they were in the camp. They set up camp around the house, basically.
Right.
So, according to some legends of the story, Jackson did indeed counter the Bell Witch that night. Betsy Bell screamed all night from the pinching and slapping, and she received from the witch. And Jackson's covers were ripped off as quickly as he could put them back on, and he and his entire party of the men were slapped. Now, here's the thing: I heard that it was just one soldier who was actually taunting the witch and said something along the line of like, "I was a witch tamer" or something like that, where he could like keep the witch from doing things. And apparently she heard that and made a message or made a example out of him, and I guess made him shake violently and was slapped across the face. But so by morning, or let's see, okay, let's just go. And his entire party were slapped, pinched, and had their hair pulled by the witch until morning, when Jackson and his men decided to hightail out of Adams. Jackson was later quoted as saying, "I'd rather fight the British in New Orleans than have to fight the Bell Witch." So whether that story is true or not, it could just be a story from one guy's book that a lot of people trust, but we'll see. It is a very interesting tale, though.
Yeah, especially for such a prominent figure in American history. Mm-hmm. A future president at the time. Like, he wasn't president yet, but yeah, he for him to go out there and have those experiences, I think like a lot of that information from him kind of help spread this thing to a greater audience and probably gave it a little more believability or credibility.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know of any accounts where he has ever discussed the Bell Witch properly or publicly.
Well, if it got out there that he actually made it out there and camped out there and they had an experience, even if it was somebody else saying, "Hey, Andrew Jackson was out here," it'd be like saying, "I went on this investigation with Spurrier, and we had all this stuff happen." You would think Spurrier had all the activity too, and
you would think. Or what if he just never talked about it because he didn't want his name to be like, "I retreated from a witch,"
Nobody's going to blame him for that.
Exactly.